Previously on DPS.
Right about now, I'm in Matera constituency at its biggest dumping site, a place commonly known as Kumalabo.
She told me on how today I'm going to get eliminated and I'll have to go back to my village.
I feel you should send Mike home, and I feel he doesn't have that face for television.
And the two people that I'm sending home this week, unfortunately, are Nelton and Lehman. Your road on the Diamond TV Presenter Search Season 5 ends here.
Did you know that routine meditation can significantly enhance one's neural processing? That's just fancy for better decision making. Further studies show that the practice can also help you better control your thoughts and reactivity. No wonder the world's top athletes encompass meditating in their training. Now, this may not be a sports show, but the contestants can learn a thing or two from tapping into this technique.
I believe in changing mindset, especially where I come from, and I just thought this is a platform for me to do that because I live behind a hood. You know what a hood is? Let me tell you. A hood is where almost everything happens. Almost everything happens. Children, young girls get pregnant whilst they are teens. Mothers and fathers are just drunkards. They don't have time to take care of their children. Young boys become junkies. They stop school because they just want to, or because where they come from is not worth calling a comfortable space to be at. So for me, being here was just to shape up the face of that place, to make the young girls and boys realize that it doesn't matter where you come from, you can still do great things.
In Let's Get Sporty, contestants are tasked to come up with a sports show quite unique from anything we've seen before. What success looks like, innovation, creativity, and energy. Contestants, good luck.
Wow, something that I can sink my teeth into again. And the first thing that came into my mind was mixed martial arts because it's something that I have a passion for. And I said, okay, fine, let's do something mixed martial arts related because that's something sporty. And I think I was so fortunate enough that a lot of the events happening at the time the task was being given, that was big news, new news, was something related to mixed martial arts. So that was immediately what was going in my head. I'm gonna do something mixed martial arts related. I'm gonna kill the ace out of this thing.
I, for one, have little understanding on how to rank a show quite like this, and I'm sure you're going through the same thing as well. So to help you and I better understand how to judge the contestants alongside Costa and Jonah, I took the liberty of engaging Punch, Phoenix FM's sports guru, to give us a few tips.
So the most important thing when coming up with a sports show is for it to have a structure, a format. If you're gonna have guests, if you're gonna have videos in it, you have to structure everything properly so that as the seasons go, as the shows go on, people get used to the structure. The second most important thing you have to have is a story, because people don't know most of the information that you're going to bring out, so you have to knit it all up beautifully in a story. So storytelling is very important when coming up with a sports show. You gotta get very good at that. Then the third and most important thing is getting your facts right, fact checking. This is very, very important. You need to get all your facts right, because your listeners, the people who are watching, they are trusting you for the information. Otherwise, thanks guys, and enjoy your journey.
Thanks, Punch. With that, the contestants have everything they need for this show. Team lead and producer for the task is Miriam. And from the looks of things, this could be an intense presentation session, seeing as contestants only have Costa today.
Yes, I need to make sure everything goes well as a team lead, and everybody else is given different roles. The directors, my co-producer and scriptwriter, as well as the editors who sit next to the editor to make sure everything is okay in terms of quality control and everything.
DPS contestants, welcome to the preview room for your task of week 8. Your task was to present or really come up with a 24-minute sports television show. I have your script before me. Miriam, you are the producer, and I believe you're the lead on this particular task and assignment. Welcome. Quickly run me through how the roles were distributed and why, who is doing what, and what I expect to see in what I'm about to watch. Miriam?
Okay, so we are given a task to do a sports show. We call it the Sports View. And I was a producer. Akim was the director. Matakala was the co-producer. Rachel was the scriptwriter. Tawana there was the co-director, and Mike was the editor, co-editor. He was sitting beside the editor, and Emmanuel was also the editor. And we decided to take on different sports disciplines in order to give updates and exposure on different sports disciplines. So for my part, we were at the social block where we were focusing more on soccer. And then for Mike, he was focusing on athletics. For Rachel, she was the anchor along with Akim. And for Emmanuel, he was focusing on MMA. And Mark was focusing on boxing.
So this assignment was very clear in that it has to be 24 minutes.
Yes.
Number one. Number two, it needed to be unconventional. In the last elimination, I also spoke about looking out for individual brilliance more than just what I've seen in the last 7 weeks. I hope I'll be able to see that. And mind you, we are moving towards the top 5, and I'm not going to tolerate silly mistakes of not keeping to time, silly mistakes of people not previewing their work, and people not bringing their creativity and the A game. Can you guarantee me that what I'm about to see is something creative, proper storytelling, unconventional, and something that is worth the criteria of the assignment given?
I believe it is, because everybody was given an individual task to work on their part, and they chose what they wanted to do.
Let's watch and see.
Hello
and thank you for joining us on Sportsville, the ultimate sports show that is here to give you a lowdown on everything that's happening in the world of sports, both here at home and abroad. I am Rachel Mumba. I will be your host today.
And I am Akim Kavi. And today on the show, we have an exciting lineup, starting up with the mixed martial arts. And we're going to be taking you to the world of boxing, as well as Matakala and Miriam will be giving us an update on the social block.
That's right. And speaking of mixed martial arts, Emmanuel Mambwe was out there speaking to Gilbert Njovu, who is winner of gold medal from the just ended International Mixed Martial Arts Federation, competition that took place in Namibia. Let's take a look.
Welcome to the MMA Media. I am your host, Emmanuel Mambwe, and I am chilling.
Costa and the contestants go through the same routine. He watches and questions the contestants on the product.
Just pause for me a bit. What is the target audience, or who is the target audience for this show in terms of age demographics, sex, and archetype?
The demographic would be from 18 to 30. The sex primarily would be...
From age what?
18 to 30.
And how did you arrive at that? Do you all agree that your target audience is 18 to 30? Does the team agree?
Maybe I would reduce it from, I would start it at maybe 12 to
So
30.
when you were formulating this, you did not agree on who your target audience is? As a team producer?
So we delegated tasks. Each had decided what they are going to do, and for...
There were tasks, but there's one show. And the show needs to have a target audience. Who are we targeting here? Or that was not considered? Yes, Rachel.
So basically, it's a show that brings to light the...
Do you have a target audience or not?
For the overall show, I think any sports enthusiast, but for this...
Give me the target audience breakdown in terms of age demographic, archetype, and by sex.
I think I would agree with Matakala, maybe from 12 to about 30.
Let's continue.
Now, beyond the dribblings and hat-tricks, Zambia has continued to unleash its homage for different and diverse sports disciplines. The world of athletics is a global village in which Zambia has secured its residence, having made its first debut in 1964. And this year, it makes its 15th appearance at the Summer Olympics, which will run from the 26th of July to the 11th of August 2024 in Paris. And this time around, it's the 400 meters fastest man in the motherland, Muzala Samukonga, making headlines, who after having won gold medals in 2022 at the Birmingham Commonwealth Games and African Championships, still went on to put up an impressive performance at the Rabat Marrakech Diamond League, where he clocked 44.54 seconds to emerge as runner-up in the 400 meters race. Now, I spoke to the Zambia Association of Athletics president, who is Mr. Elas Mpondela, and he ran us through how the team has been building up in readiness for the Olympics in July.
Things are now, they camped. Yesterday they were, training, and they've been training for the past 3 days. They're trying to acclimatize to the conditions that
Just pause there. I have a question. Is this a sports news show, or is it a sports lifestyle show?
I think it's a lifestyle show, sports lifestyle show.
You think, or you're sure? You're the producer. What were you producing? What's the genre of your show?
The aim was to create...
What is the genre of your show?
Sports lifestyle show, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Together with our partners, National Olympic Committee, I think we're doing the best that we can to give the treatment that is required and also expose the athletes to the competitions.
Just pause there for me, please. Give the microphone to Mike. Your intro talks about Mzala Samukonga.
Sure, sir.
Slated to participate in the upcoming Olympics on the 26th of July.
Sure.
And his achievements thus far.
Exactly.
Why are you interviewing the ZAR president and not Mzala Samukonga? Is this interview about the preparedness of the team that is going to the Olympics, or Mzala Samukonga's readiness?
So initially it was about Muzala's readiness, but at the time of broadcast it was reported that he was out of country, so we couldn't get a hold of him. And so
at the time of broadcast, at the time of your interview,
sure,
it's you who's doing this. This is a post-produced program.
Exactly.
So if you don't have Muzala, then change your intro. So why do we have Mr. Mpondela talking about Muzala Samkonga?
Because we thought him being the Zambia Athletics Association president, he might have well information on how the team is doing in readiness for the forthcoming Olympics.
The team or Muzala?
Muzala plus others that will be participating.
So then why didn't you guys change the intro then to the Zambian contingency and how prepared they are, rather than putting an intro specifically on one person? Because Akim says the Zambian flag continues to be raised high. One sports that continues to do well is athletics, with 400 meters runner Muzala Samkonga slated to take part in the Summer Olympics. In your intro, you talk about the Muzala Samkonga in particular. So as a viewer, I'm expecting to see something on Muzala and how ready he is for the Olympics. Yet what this man is talking about is something absolutely different.
Sure, that's so bad on our part.
Because you're telling me about broadcast time. This is preview time. This is broadcast.
Sure.
But you had the time to control all this before it's brought before me.
I guess as well, one thing that led to that is we had like a time lapse in terms of how we could get a hold of Mr. Mpondela, because initially we were talking about Muzala as an individual, and then information that there are other people that are participating got unveiled at the day that we are having the interview. So it was just mainly the...
So as the person researching, you knew before this interview that only Muzala was going to the Olympics? And no other Zambian?
I did not know about any other Zambian. That is to my bad.
You did not know?
I did not.
So you did not research?
I did not go further.
And in this report, do you highlight any other Zambians going to the Olympics?
In the outro, I do.
Let's go to the outro, please.
So there you have it, well spoken and well said by Mr. Elas Mpondela, who is the Zambia Athletics Association president, on how the team is building up to this particular competition or tournament that will be taking place in July. All we can say is that we wish them all the best, and we hope that they continue to keep the Zambian flag flying high on such international sports platforms, and also we pray that they get to bring back medals and trophies back to the country. Now from me, Mike Sakala, it's back to the studios, but the race to 26th of July starts now.
Just pause. So do you mention how many athletes and in which sporting disciplines are representing Zambia?
I did not mention that.
Did Mr. Mpondela mention in your interview?
He mentioned there is the 4x4 team, 4x4 meters team that is also qualified, that is going to be there. And during the interview with him, there are some highlights of the cutaways for such a team that are shown behind.
Just scroll me through that interview, Justin, and let's see what he's talking about. Just pause for me, Justin. Apart from athletics or apart from Zala Samkonga, what other athletes and sporting disciplines will Zambia be represented in? Mike?
At the Olympics?
I thought your report is about the Olympics, Mike.
Exactly. So the information that we got from that interview...
I'm asking you a question. You are the reporter or the anchor doing that segment. Is Zambia going to be represented in boxing?
Sure. That's one of the information I came across while my reading was that Peter Chinyemba is also in boxing as qualified as well.
What other sports discipline?
Soccer, with the Copper Queens.
You're asking me?
I guess I came such kind of information that the Copper Queen are supposed to be at the Olympics as well.
And we can't mention that?
I understand that it was worth mentioning, but I guess I pretty much wanted to stick to athletics as a particular sport that I chose, because there were other guys as well that are going to be talking about sports in this particular show. So,
thank you, Mike. Let's continue, Justin.
Indeed, Muzala Samukonga never ceases to amaze us, and we're just hoping for the best.
Absolutely, we're really, really hoping the best. Muzala Samukonga has not, for me, I think he keeps on raising the Zambian flag high. So far, I don't think we've been disappointed by him. At some point, he had an injury, and that was a bit worrisome in terms of, Zambian athletics and how that it's been raising the Zambian flag high. But we're glad to see that he's going to be taking part in this year's Olympics, in the Paris slated Olympics, and we're so proud. We cannot wait. I know for sure that he's bringing back those.
He's gonna bring it back.
He's bringing back the gold medals.
Oh, yeah.
You're still watching Sportsville. Right now, we take a short break, but still to come, Matakala and Miriam will be here to give us an update on what is making wave on our social media platforms in the world of soccer. Don't go away.
Just pause for me there. Rachel and Akim, has Muzala Samukonga ever won a gold medal at the Olympics?
I'm not sure. So first of all,
I'm just listening to what you're saying.
I wasn't just specific to the Olympics. I was talking about the other gold medals that he's brought home, sir.
Which other gold medals has he brought?
Commonwealth Games, sir.
He brought a gold medal in what?
400 meters race, sir.
The
400 meters race.
From where?
The Commonwealth Games.
In which year? Hakim, you were busy there saying, oh yes, he's so amazing. What was so amazing about Mr. Mpondela? Because that was not Muzala Samukonga. So you're saying Muzala Samukonga is always so amazing. So what was so amazing about Mr. Mpondela in that interview?
We were connecting with what Mr. Mpondela was saying about Muzala.
That's how you connected? By saying, oh, Muzala is always amazing.
No, he never ceases to amaze us with.
But that was Mr. Mpondela, it was not Muzala.
Yes, it was not Muzala, but we were just trying to connect with what Mr. Mpondela
was talking about the team going to the Olympics.
Yeah, but at a certain point...
And the diet, that's all I heard him talking about. I never saw any profile about Muzala specifically there. Or Muzala's preparedness. At the time of recording this, Muzala has just pulled out, this week, Muzala has just pulled out of competing in the CAA. It was in the news, I think, just a day ago. So what is amazing then?
For me, I only...
We are just following the script for the sake of reading it to show that we can speak English?
Not quite, sir. I only just realized this morning that Muzala Samukonga had actually pulled out, and I was actually talking to Mike that I wish we were aware of the information yesterday, then we could have...
You have to be aware. The moment you're aware, you need to make corrections, because what that displays is that I've got Dow presenters on TV that are misinforming the public. And you're a danger to society. There's nothing worse. I always tell my people, it's like a doctor administering wrong medication to a patient. You kill them. So what you're reporting there is nonsense. And I told you that this competition is going to get tougher, and I'm not going to accept silly mistakes. What are you here to show me? That you're able to sit and follow a script which is full of misinformation? And as a producer, you bring this to me? Let's continue.
Thank you so much, Rachel and Akim. Now, this is the Social Block, where we talk all things sport. And today, our focus is on the soccer field. My name is Miriam Siamakata.
And my name is Matakala. First up, let's talk about the ongoing Euro 2024 tournament, which started on the 14th of June, with Germany, the hosts, beating Scotland by 5-1. Yamo Musiala being the man of the moment in that game. People are calling him, he might actually be the next Iniesta.
But can he?
When you hear flow like a butterfly, sting like a bee, you think Muhammad Ali. When you think Muhammad Ali, you think DRC, 1974, October 30, Rumble in the Jungle, Muhammad Ali versus George Foreman. Muhammad Ali beat George Foreman up and he went to be a pastor. But anyway, you know what the cool thing is? We share a border with DRC. And I'd like to think some Zambian hopefuls crossed that border and learned a thing or two. That's why Zambia is so prominent in boxing. I mean, we have Esther Piri, who became the first internationally recognized boxer by winning the WIBA championship in 2010. And we also have Catherine Piri, who won the WC championship.
Just pause for me. Mark, what's the boxer's category?
bantamweight.
Has it been mentioned anywhere so far?
No, sir.
So he's a champion in what? Flyweight, heavyweight? Again, it's not important. You just want to sting like a bee and flow like a rapper?
No, sir.
And again, I'll ask, I'm getting confused. I see others reporting like it's news. I see others reporting like it's some hip hop show. I see others trying to run. What is this? Is it a current affairs show? Is it a live? What is it? It's like you think a sports show should bring about energy. You should be able to. That's what makes it sports. Every sports presenter. I imagine if every commentator has to be seen. I don't see Gary Lineker or Thomas Mulambo in the studio, even if they're presenting a sports show. Being, hey, I don't see them doing that. Energy makes it a sports show.
How does it make it unconventional?
Unconventional does not mean behaving like clowns. Unconventional means that we're supposed to see the diversity from what we've taught you so far. The fact that you're able to break these things down, probably onto various platforms. We're supposed to see you integrate Twitter or X, integrate TikTok, unconventional in your storytelling. Your research so far is very poor. All unconventional for you means energy. Just being able to do an outro and turn and run, or being able to wear gloves is unconventional. I've seen this before in your first presentations. When people went to do a dance session, they were in the dance mix. I've seen it. So what makes it unconventional? And that's why I'm asking you these questions. Who is your target audience? What's your archetype? Because it's like I'm watching so many shows in one show.
The work is not entirely to par, because there are some segments that are not what we thought. But the thing is, everybody else was given the freedom to do what they wanted. Of course, I did give in my advice, but the thing is, at the end of the day, we are going to be judged individually. And the work isn't entirely pleasing, but I think I've done a good job individually, and I'm expecting good results.
It would seem Costa has a surprise for the contestants, and not the good kind. It's now time for his final feedback.
Sportsville, Team Pamozi. After this week's show, we're supposed to be getting into the final top 6. You've had enough time of mentorship with our senior manager who is in charge of content. I know he has spent lots of time with you in terms of trying to mentor you around aspects of the entire production process, from pre-production into the actual production and post-production. Last week, we were in this same boardroom talking about the aspect of quality control. That for me is a very important aspect of the television and broadcast business. There is no way, especially when you're doing a post-produced show, meaning that if it is not live, you have every moment an opportunity to correct every single thing before it flies on air. And so there's no single excuse from you, the producer, who's dropped the ball of assigning people to do quality control, yet you yourself do not have a chance to take responsibility over the final product. There's lots of mistakes in there in terms of billboards, in terms of advertorial content, mistakes, and this is why I was stopping at every interval to question each and every presenter on mispronunciations of certain words, the poor sequencing in that the intros say one thing and what is in the actual reports or segments is another thing. All those mistakes could have been corrected right in the editing process at production, regardless of the time that you're finishing your production, because this is an industry of tight deadlines. And because of that, as producer, you're up for elimination, because the buck stops with you. And at this level of the competition, you must have your ears open, your eyes widely opened in terms of looking at the standard and norms of what is happening within Diamond TV in itself. You're working with seasoned producers, you're working with people who are actually doing the job. So when we ask for an unconventional show, Mark, I'm looking at what already exists in the market, what already exists internally. I'm not looking for clowns to move away from my audience or to move my audience away. What I simply see is youngsters who think that by being hype on some energy drink and changing the language, it makes you feel that you're unconventional. Unconventional is about the formats and the storytelling. How creatively do you put the pieces together? And in all of you, I see you getting high so much on the fact that it's about how you addressed, how you're presenting, and the energy that makes the show right. You do not even know the names of your sources. Your research was so poor, all of you, in not understanding the boxers, their categories, in not understanding most of the athletes, all of you. The information is half-baked. And so, when I look at the entire 24 minutes, I see each individual trying to bring something onto the table, and that's why I asked, when you're creating a show, get to identify what is the objective of our show, who is our target audience. It then gives you what is the genre, who are we targeting, then you build your persona and your archetype out of that. So, for example, I do a show called Costa. Do you think that Costa is for everybody in terms of age group? It's for, no. It has a specific genre, it has a specific persona and a specific archetype. And yes, not everybody is going to watch and love Costa. So you can't tell me, no, this show is for 12 to 30 years old. So the 12-year-old will watch where I was rapping a bit, then when the boxers come in, the 18-year-old would watch, or the 40-year-old, then at a certain point, who watches TV like that? And you need to understand that in the world that we're living in right now, you've got a power deficit of load shedding. So people are consuming more of their content, more on the gadgets on the phone. It's an issue of data and battery power. So the content, yes, I asked for 24 minutes, but even when you do the social is all about interaction. I didn't see the interaction. The non-conventional is not just about the peace side, it's not just about the boxing, it's about the storytelling and how creatively you can put the pieces together. So for me, guys, this for me out of 10, I can give you 3. It's pathetic. Because from what I've seen from week 1, most of these things I've already seen. It could have been told better. So, Miriam, you're up for elimination because you've dropped the ball on the quality control aspect. Hakeem, I didn't think you did a good job today. Mispronunciation of words, swallowing of words, but still, like I told you, last in the elimination, I was expecting to see more of you. All I'm seeing in trying to put the chemistry with your co-host is, yes, I agree. Exciting, very exciting. And it's like even your selection of words, your vocabulary, guys, you're not reading enough. It's not sporty enough. It's just, wow, amazing. Thank you so much for that. Exciting. Oh, yeah. It's very basic colloquial, you call it. So equally, you're up for elimination this week. Emmanuel, the mixed martial arts piece, just like Mark. I said to you last time, I would really want to figure out whether you're an all-rounder and who you are. Because when you become part of the Diamond TV team and you're going to sit into production, I don't see that type of presentation sitting even in a breakfast show. Because from the pieces I've seen about you from AI, it's like you're a guy who doesn't take yourself seriously. It's like you're always clowning around. I don't see you handling an interview on business or national matters. Even if it's sports, it doesn't need to always be goofy.
It's quite understandable. I wouldn't hold it against him because most of the times when you've seen me on screen in front of the camera, you've seen me acting goofy in a sense. Interacting with me outside the TV presentation scene, people would actually think I'm more serious. It's quite unfortunate he didn't get to view the current affairs piece that we were given, all of us, and the piece that I did, because I took a serious approach then, and his right-hand man actually gave me props for doing that. So I wish it's something that he had seen. Maybe that would have changed his mind and been able to give him a view of my other side.
I need to see more. I need to see an all-rounder, a versatile person that if they needed to join the team, they're able to fit into the realm of what the station does and what they're all about. Equally, you're up for elimination.
I feel a little bit sad. I feel it's unfair that I have to pay for people's sins, considering the fact that with delegated roles, I did do my part. I oversaw everything, despite me having my own things to focus on and the different times for shooting of different segments and everything. But I still did my very best. I made sure everything was up to pace, the scripts, the everything, and now that I'm hearing that I'm up for elimination is something I did not anticipate for.
Mike, last week somebody said you have no face for TV and you were not hungry. The energy in the presentation, despite the branded apparel, despite the lack of content, because we are told you're going to talk about Muzala or talk to Muzala, and yet you're speaking to the ZAR president. But I think the presentation was somewhat firm. Matakala, research extremely weak. And it being goofy does not mean that then you become a social media, or makes the social media segment rather. But again, the only thing that I continue to say is obviously your ability to hold yourself, the confidence and so on. But there's more for both you and Mike that can be shown. And you're literally hanging, like I always say, by the teeth of your hair. And finally, Taona, Madam South Africa. It's like this whole assignment was around the fact that if people dress in sports apparel, if people go out in the field and put out a lot of energy, then it's sports. The information and the research was very weak. So, Miriam, Akeem, Emmanuel, you're up for elimination this week. Hakeem, you had something.
Thank you so much for the feedback. I think this task had to open me up to my weakness, because when it comes to sports, I'm sure you saw that the chemistry was not that good with my co-host. When it comes to sports, honestly speaking, I'm not really good when it comes to sports. And I think I have to do much of research on that area, because on the sports part, to be honest. But yeah, thank you for the feedback. And I just have to seal on those holes on the word pronunciation and vocabulary. I think I'm gonna work on those. But if you were to give me a second chance, I think I can do better in other productions, to be honest. But sports, no.
Miriam, the back stops at you. What I've seen is something that is not impressive. 3 out of 10. Quality control not even existing in this entire production. You failed to produce an unconventional and creative show. What do you have to say for yourself?
Sir, I do acknowledge that it was my job already to look at everything as a producer. But like I said, we had assigned tasks to almost everyone because everyone was doing a particular task at a particular point. But from the start of this competition, sir, I have made it very clear that I'm not someone who's one-sided. I've given a lot of my sides. I can be in a news setup, I know who I am, I know. I can be in an entertainment show, I can be in a sports show, I can be in
an informative kind of program, educative, entertaining, all of it. I don't think I can give you pressure because I'm sharp. Like I said, I'm adaptable. It's a pity that I did not get the time to look at every single piece. But I think that's why we had assigned roles. Because the time was also fighting against us. The time that others were doing their parts, I was also supposed to, the time was clashing because I was also supposed to be at a certain location at a particular time. I was supposed to be in studio. They were out. I couldn't monitor everything because I was also doing other things. At the end, it was teamwork, yes, I acknowledge. But you are going to judge us individually. And I think I did my level best to try and make sure that everything is put together. It's unfortunate that I did not get the chance to overly look at everything.
I know this is a competition. I know you're fresh. You've not been inside the business. But those who have graduated to join the Diamond Media team after presenter search will tell you that all the things you're saying, people who present real-time newsroom, these are live shows where you're supposed to be on air live for 2 hours. Certain reporters do not call in, others cancel in terms of things, and you need to keep the show going on. So all those excuses that you're giving me, unfortunately, do not hold, especially that you're given 2 days in which to produce a program which requires quality control and indeed fixing before it's previewed. For me, I take this very seriously, that misinforming millions of viewers is as dangerous as a pilot who either is commanding a plane and they're not competent enough, or their plane is not fit enough, or like I said earlier, a doctor who misdiagnoses a patient and administers wrong medication. It's that dangerous. So I don't play with this business.
Sir, I'm very apologetic on that part, but I think it's something that can be worked on if people just know what they are doing specifically, because...
So you're blaming others?
No, I also do take part because I'm the producer. I need to look at everything overall. But I feel like because of different places to be at, it was kind of hard. So that's why we had assigned roles to almost everyone to know what they are doing at a particular time, because it gets crowded there at the editor's point where everybody's there. But I was there to make sure everything was in place. But I think I got swayed away when different parts were with a different editor and different parts were with another editor.
Contestants, this is not a threat. This is just an expectation. The organization is built on values, like I keep on emphasizing, of hard work, dedication, and excellence. That's our outstanding, unique value proposition of who we are in the market and what we believe in. Ours is to foster change through incorporating an impactful addition onto the team. It's not just about employing an individual, it's about getting a valuable individual that will add to the already existing value and continue to impact society in terms of the change and the future that media in Zambia has to offer, and Diamond has to be at the center of all that. So I take this very seriously. And going forward, I need to be around people who just exemplify those values. And so when I talk to you, I'm not looking just merely at presentation, I'm not merely looking at your show up and your excuses, but I'm looking at those values. After 8 weeks, I'm not happy with what I'm seeing. I'm not happy. And for that reason, Emmanuel, Miriam, you're packing up and leaving the competition this week. The rest of you, you meet me on the rooftop for your tasks for week 9.
That was intense. Miriam and Emmanuel, this is the end of the road for both of you.
I've created so many beautiful friendships, some of which are weird because sometimes it gets sarcastic, sometimes it gets fun, but I have gotten to have DPS Mommy, Penelope Jindolo, a DPS Daddy, Matakala. Unintentionally just happened, I don't know, I was just a kid, and everybody else that came from Kitwe and Livingston, because we were staying at the same place, so there's that whole community, that whole love and everything they give me, especially considering the fact that I'm the youngest. Everybody just treats me like they're a younger one, and I've also created beautiful relationships with some of the people, in fact, okay, not some, but most of the people that I interact with.
here at Diamond TV, which is a great thing because I don't think I have a problem with all of them. They are nice. They are really nice. Is it okay if I mention their names too? Okay, so I got to have beautiful relationships with people like aka my twin or my lookalike, George Samuel Piri. I have a very weird relationship with Tumu. I have a weird relationship with with the others. There's this man, I don't even know his name, but I don't know, for some reason, the first time I saw him, I pissed him off for whatever reason, but now I can greet him, he can greet me. And also George Mambwe, among others. I love everybody here. Oh, I also have a relationship, I think, with Jonah, I think. Because every time we're there at the elimination block, is always Miriam raising his eyebrow. And I think I also have a relationship with Sammy, yes, that nice lady. I love Vida, I love Chichi. Okay, I love everyone. I can't manage to mention everybody's name. Oh, even the cameramen, ish. And they always know when to take the good shots of me because I always look cool. So they always have, they always know when I look cool. I look extra cool and they just take me walking like that. I look nice.
Miriam heads back to Livingston while Emmanuel makes his way to Kitwe.
Just one more. Just don't do it right now. That was my initial reaction. I actually felt my spirit leave my body and then come back. So I wasn't happy because I really needed this. You hear my story, and especially of how I've tried making things move. I thought this was a place for me and I felt at home. So when he tells me that, I feel like my world has crumbled because now I don't know what I go back to. I don't know what I am without DPS because when I came here, that was the only thing I could think about. Whenever we were given assignments, I would literally not eat until my assignments were done because that's how dedicated I wanted to show I was to the craft. And it's quite unfortunate, from selling things to sleeping on the floor to being a private cab driver just to make ends meet. I thought this was the one because God had put things in me, talent and whatnot, and I thought maybe this is the place that will bring everything together. And so when he tells me those things, I feel like my world has crumbled. And now I have to think about what I do next. I'm quite sad, but still at peace in a sense because I feel like Jesus has given me that peace. But I still wanted to win. I'm gonna make it evident. I still wanted to win. I still think I'm a diamond, and hey, who knows, maybe you hear from me next time.
We have more drama unfolding after the break. Sad to see Miriam and Emmanuel go, but like I keep saying, the competition is getting steeper. Costa now proceeds to give the contestants their next task.
Contestants, welcome to the rooftop. There's 6 of you remaining from the initial 8, and we eliminated 2 of your colleagues who've been sent home packing. Now be very observant of what has happened in the previous episodes, or indeed in the previous editions of the Presenter Search in Season 4 as well as Season 3. There's an opportunity for you to land yourself a place in any of the departments within our organization, depending on how exemplary you show yourself out. This will, yes, continue to be about teamwork, but it will be more about individual brilliance and individual talent. And indeed, it's time for you to step up and begin to show why you entered this competition and what it is that you're here for. So next week's tasks are as follows. You will all work as individuals. You will be asked to create a 90 seconds news package that should be able to make it into any of our news bulletins either at 18:45 or 20 hours on TV. Yours is to present 3 workable ideas, and you'll have to present these to our news editor in a diary session, and out of these 3 ideas, 2 of them will be picked. So I spoke about the 5 W's and the H in terms of what formulates your idea conceptualization. Bear in mind, as you come up with an idea, it must be timely, it must have relevance, it must have proximity in terms of the audiences that we're reaching. Remember that these audiences are on TV and online, and they must meet the news relevant yardsticks. What is news? It must be factual, it must be objective, it must be accurate, and it must be timely. Out of these 3 ideas, the news editor will sanction 2 ideas, and out of those, you're supposed to create a news package of 90 seconds. And remember, this piece must be able to qualify to air in our news bulletin, but later on, also out of your own creativity and storytelling, you must be able to show that you're able to come up in the production of this particular news package with a storyboard. And I'll be looking for those specific things: the idea conceptualization, how it meets the 5 W's and H, how it attracts the news yardsticks, your storyboard, and how you produce and shoot your package, and finally the delivery. Is that clear? Next week we eliminate 1 as we get into the top 5. Congratulations for coming this far, and I wish you all the best and good luck in your next assignment. Thank you.
In true leadership fashion, Costa takes time to speak with the eliminated contestants and offer further advice and hope. This is what DPS is all about. A place where raw talent is molded and individuals are inspired to attain their most absolute versions of themselves. Here's what to expect on this season of DPS.